There was a man who sat outside my store every single day for 3 months. Same spot. Same torn jacket. Same empty eyes staring at nothing. I walked past him every morning. Every evening. And every single time, I did nothing. Until one Tuesday morning, everything changed. And what happened next is something I will carry with me for the rest of my life. My name is James. I own a small grocery store in a quiet neighborhood in Ohio. It's nothing fancy, just a place where locals come to grab their essentials. I've run it for 11 years, and in those 11 years, I thought I'd seen everything. But I hadn't seen anything like Marcus. He first appeared on a cold Monday morning in November. Sitting on the pavement just outside my entrance, a worn-out military duffel bag beside him, a paper cup in front of him with a few coins inside. At first I assumed he'd be gone by the next day. Most people passing through usually were. But Marcus didn't leave. Day 2. Day 3. Day 7. He was always there. My customers started noticing. Some of them dropped coins in his cup. Others walked past quickly, eyes fixed on the ground. A few complained to me quietly, saying his presence was making them uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. I was running a business. I had bills to pay, staff to manage, deliveries to coordinate. So I told myself what most people tell themselves in moments like this. Someone else will help him. It's not my responsibility. But deep down, something was bothering me. Something I couldn't shake. Because every morning when I unlocked my store and looked out at Marcus sitting there in the cold, he never asked anyone for anything. He never shouted. Never caused trouble. He just sat there. Quietly. Like a man who had already given up on the world. It was a Tuesday morning in December when everything changed. I arrived at my store earlier than usual that day. It was freezing, one of the coldest mornings we'd had all winter. And there was Marcus, sitting in his usual spot, his jacket doing almost nothing against the bitter cold. But this time something was different. He was holding something in his hands. Small. Worn out. I had to look twice before I realized what it was. A photograph. He was just staring at it. Not moving. Not blinking. Just staring at this photograph like it was the only thing left in the world that mattered to him. I don't know what came over me that morning. Maybe it was the cold. Maybe it was the look on his face. Maybe I was just tired of walking past him like he was invisible. I walked over and I said, "Sir, would you like to come inside and have a hot cup of coffee?" He looked up at me slowly. Like he wasn't sure if I was talking to him. Like kindness was a language he hadn't heard spoken in a very long time. He nodded. Quietly. And he followed me inside. We sat down at the small table I keep near the window for staff breaks. I made 2 cups of coffee and I sat across from him. And for the first time, I actually looked at him. Really looked at him. His hands were rough and weathered. His eyes were tired but sharp. And on his jacket, almost hidden beneath the dirt and wear, was a small pin. A military pin. I pointed at it and asked, "Did you serve?" He looked down at the pin, then back at me. And in a quiet, steady voice he said, "22 years. Army. 3 tours." I didn't say anything for a moment. I just let that sit between us. 22 years. 3 tours. And now sitting on a pavement outside a grocery store in the freezing cold. I asked him what happened. And slowly, between sips of coffee, Marcus told me his story. He'd come back from his last tour with injuries that ended his service. The transition back to civilian life was brutal. No stable support. No family left. Medical bills that swallowed everything he had saved. And eventually, the street. "I don't tell people I'm a veteran," he said quietly. "Because then they feel sorry for me. And I don't want pity. I just want to be seen." I closed my store early that day for the first time in 11 years. I made some calls. I reached out to a local veteran support organization I had seen advertised but never paid much attention to. I called my friend David, who owns a small apartment complex nearby. I called 3 of my regular customers who I knew had big hearts. Within 48 hours, something remarkable happened. The veterans organization connected Marcus with emergency housing assistance. David agreed to offer a room at reduced rent while the paperwork was processed. My customers rallied together and collected enough money to cover Marcus's first 2 months of rent and basic essentials. And my staff, without me even asking, put together a bag of warm clothing, food, and toiletries. 2 days after that cold Tuesday morning, I walked outside to Marcus's usual spot. He was there. Same spot. Same torn jacket. I sat down beside him on the pavement. And I told him everything that had been arranged. He didn't say anything at first. He just looked at me. And then he looked down at his hands. And his shoulders started shaking. Marcus, a man who had survived 3 war zones, who had held himself together through more hardship than most people could imagine, broke down and cried. Not from sadness. From relief. From feeling seen. From knowing that after everything, somebody finally stopped. Marcus has been in his apartment for 7 months now. He volunteers twice a week at the same place that helped him, and every Friday morning, he walks into my store, not to sit outside, but to buy his groceries and share a cup of coffee with me. Last week, he brought me something. The photograph, the one he held on to that cold Tuesday morning. It was a picture of his unit, 12 young men in uniform, standing under the sun, far from home. He told me, "I used to look at this and feel like that man was gone forever. Now I look at it and remember who I am." That photograph now hangs on the wall of my store, right next to the door. Because I want everyone who walks in to remember this. The person you pass every day is not invisible. They have a story. A past. A reason they're still holding on. And sometimes, all it takes is one person to stop. So I'll ask you. Will you be that person? If this story touched you, share it with someone. And subscribe to the channel for more powerful stories like this. Thank you for watching.